MetaVPad is launching on the 10th of December, and you need to choose your membership. I'm looking at your comments. The questions are: do I choose BSCPad, AdaPad, NFTLaunch, GameZone, VelasPad, TronPad, KCCPad, or EthPad? Well, today we're going to look at all of them because each of them have pros and cons, and it's not that intuitive. What does pull weight mean? How many stakers are there? How much allocation am I going to get? What other projects are going to be launching around MetaVPad on those launch pads? So there's some of the things that we need to look at. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you don't know me by now, my name is Jagir. I'm the award-winning author of The Extraordinary New Venture Capital Opportunity, How to Invest Like a Pro. Been featured in the best-selling book, High Probability Trading Strategies, back in 2008. Used to focus on trading currencies, but now exclusive on cryptocurrencies. So let's dive straight in. MetaVPad is going to be a beast. I think it's going to be the IDO of the year. That is set for 1000x. I know the markets are not in peak optimism right now because of the correction with Bitcoin, but I think it's still going to smash a 500x. Still got good potential for 1000x, especially as we go into Q1 of next year. So MetaVPad, building the metaverse. The metaverse. That is the key word. Facebook, the biggest social media company on the planet, has changed its name to Meta. So that's the big clue. When that happened, Decentraland went through the roof. Anything with virtual reality and augmented reality, which is like the gateway into the metaverse, is going to be huge. Now, the Bluezilla ecosystem are doing a launchpad exclusively for metaverse projects. So let's just zoom in a bit so we can make it easier to read. So building the metaverse one block at a time. The metaverse is the next generation of the internet. As one of its early explorers, you will help fuel its expansion and share in the benefits of this growth. So anything to do with the metaverse is going to be huge over the next 6, 12, 24 months, 36 months, and even years to come. Fueling the metaverse, creating interconnected economies, building blocks of the future, key tenet of the metaverse. So, decentralized governance, non-fungible assets, NFTs, digital identity, virtual and augmented reality. Man, it's going to be huge, right? Access to the future. Here's how it works. So it's got a lot of stuff happening, a lot of stuff happening. So the Bluezilla ecosystem are behind this. So if you're familiar with Bluezilla, I'm a fan of Bluezilla. I like what they do. I really like what they do. But they've launched since March. BSCPad was their first launch pad, and then they launched TronPad. But their main 8 that are launching MetaVPad. So MetaVPad is a launch pad for projects on the metaverse, but MetaVPad is launching on BSCPad, NFTLaunch, AdaPad, GameZone, VelasPad, TronPad, KCCPad, and EthPad. So we need to look at all of them. What are the numbers? What do we need to look at from a business case study? So what we're going to use is, I'm going to give you a high-level overview first. We're going to look at CoinMarketCap. We've got BSCPad. We got AdaPad. We got NFTLaunch. We've got GameZone. We've got VelasPad. We got TronPad, we got KCCPad, and we have EthPad. So let's go through them one at a time. So I haven't really made any judgments on this. We're just going to look at it objectively and go, right, what are the pros and cons? So first of all, BSCPad, $2.14. Let's go to their website. And what you'll notice with BSCPad is to get the top tier membership, and we're going to look at the bottom tier as well. I'm going to ignore the bronze, silver, and gold, even though they are technically the bottom tiers. What we're going to focus on, because they launched 6 memberships, right? And the others have mainly got 3. So we're going to focus on platinum, diamond, and blue diamond. So what we know for platinum is that they need 10,000 tokens. You need 10,000 tokens. So we're going to take that into consideration. So when we go to CoinMarketCap, there's this great feature on the right-hand side where you can just pop in 10,000 tokens. And what would that cost you on today's price, right? This is 21,084. I've also pulled up a Word document at the bottom over here just for us to make some notes, right? So we've got BSCPad. I'm going to write platinum was going to cost us this much, right? We're just going to make some notes so we can kind of really, because, sometimes I'm listening to your comments. I'm listening to the questions in the private Telegram. There's a lot of moving pieces. And it's not intuitive because a lot of people are focusing on pull weight and they're inaccurately comparing things that don't really count. So also what we're going to look at is Blue Diamond needs 75,000 tokens. So what would that cost? Let's just type this in because cost is one factor. Today's price is $160,000. Is that right? Yeah, $160,000. Yeah, that's right. So let's just go blue, diamond. Right, so we can just kind of put some context into this, right? We'll put a comma in so it's easier to see. All right, so that's price. We got price. Now, what are some of the things that we need to consider with BSCPad? All right, well, clearly with BSCPad, if you're familiar with the ecosystem of the Bluezilla team, when we click on projects, you'll see what's launching now is Atlantis Metaverse. This is a GameZone project, but it's also launching on BSCPad. So the biggest thing with BSCPad, which beats all of them by far, is it has the most amount of IDOs, right? It's their baby, it's their originator. BSCPad was the first, and it normally gets allocation in most of the IDOs that are occurring in the other launchpads. So BSCPad by far has had the most and is going to have the most IDOs as a whole around MetaVPad. However, the challenge is with BSCPad is that you're probably going to get the smallest amount of allocation, right? Like pound for pound, dollar for dollar, membership, you're probably going to get the smallest or on the lower end, mainly because they have a lot more members and there's a lot more stakers and so on and so forth. But some people love being in more launch pads and are happy with getting smaller amounts and so on and so forth. So the biggest thing with BSCPad is you're going to get the most amount of IDOs, but you're probably not going to get the biggest bang for your buck for MetaVPad in itself. Yeah, makes sense? All right, so that's BSCPad. It's also on the Binance Smart Chain, which is a cheap blockchain, it's fast blockchain, so the gas fees are very, very reasonable, very cheap. All right, next up is AdaPad. AdaPad is on a discount right now. Look, the price action is down. Man, it was as high as $1. What was the all-time high with AdaPad? AdaPad's all-time high was $1.36, and it's 50 cents right now. 50 cents. That is cheap, cheap as chips. But we need to put it into context because sometimes one of the difficult things with these launchpads is that to get the memberships, you need a different amount of tokens, and it's not like for like. And what I mean by that is if we go to the AdaPad website and we scroll down and we look at their memberships, now we're going to focus on the top three: bronze, silver, gold. Right? I know there's a copper as well. There is a copper, but bronze, you need 50,000 tokens, and gold, which is the top tier, you need 100,000 tokens. So it's not like for like because with with BSCPad, we need a 10,000 and 75,000. And you'll see the pull weight. The pull weight here says 10, and over here it says 48. And when we go to BSCPad, which can be quite confusing, is what we see is, let me have a look. Let's just have a look. The pull weight is 10 and 60, right? So the numbers are not like for like. That's really, really important to know. So AdaPad, let's just put in those numbers. So how many tokens do you need for the lower tier? We said we're going to keep bronze as the lower tier. Obviously, you know, actually we can put in copper. Copper, I don't know if it needs yeah, because these are guaranteed tiers. Actually, let's put in copper, right? Because they've got 4. They've got 4 over here with AdaPad. So you can get in at 25,000 tokens. So let's do that one first. 25,000 tokens. Today's price is 12,900. You can tell that I'm ignoring the lottery systems. You can get the lottery systems and win the lottery. I do like it in the sense of it makes it more inclusive. So if you put in 2,000 tokens, with $1,000, you can get a lottery ticket, right? And if you win that lottery, you'll get allocation in the IDO, but it's not guaranteed. Whereas these ones over here on the right, what we're going to focus on, are guaranteed. So we said 25,000 tokens is 12,900. So let's just pop that into the Word document. We got AdaPad. Let's just go copper is bang. And then let's now look at, we need 200,000 tokens for the top tier. So we just type in 200,000 in CoinMarketCap. Sorry, excuse me. I sensed that sneeze coming. I was seeing if I could hide it away, but nope. So there you go. Bless me. Thank you. All right, so this is the price of AdaPad. Now, some of the things to note with AdaPad. AdaPad is likely to get the highest allocation. Highest allocation. Why? Because this is what you need to know. Even though their stakers in AdaPad are going to be higher, right? There's going to be stakers in AdaPad. Let's have a look. All right, number of stakers is nearly 10,000, and in BSCPad, what we saw number of stakers was also around 10,000. However, we should take into consideration the number of tokens that are staked, because it's unlikely, this is just me speculating, that these stakers, many of them are going to be in the lower tiers and not the upper tiers. So I think there's going to be a lot more tokens to go around. So we need to take into consideration the number of tokens that are being staked as well. So I think AdaPad, wow, the APY is low, isn't it? It's low. That is, it's normally a lot higher. Yeah, because you get paid in Cardano with AdaPad. So what's my conclusion with AdaPad? Is it's going to get one. I think this is my speculation. Even though it's got higher stakers, number of stakers, I think we're going to see a higher allocation towards the highest allocation out of all the launch pads for AdaPad for the MetaVPad launch. However, there's not many projects launching on AdaPad at the moment. If we look at the projects, if we open the app and we go to projects, you can see they've only had a handful of projects. Only MetaVPad. They've done 8 IDOs: GameZone, VelasPad, AstroSwap, PostPad, and Lovelace. Yeah, so you're not likely to see many IDOs with AdaPad. So you might get a higher allocation. You can see the cost comparison with BSCPad. It's roughly 60,000 cheaper. 60,000 cheaper, but you're gonna get more IDOs with BSCPad. However, the copper is cheaper than the platinum, and I think like for like, you probably get roughly the same allocation, if not more, on the copper. It just is what it is, right? It is what it is. It's me speculating. It's not guaranteed because there's so many moving parts, and we just have to make a decision on what we're seeing. Right. So that's AdaPad. So now let's jump into NFTLaunch. So NFTLaunch, what's the price doing? It's close to its all-time high, but let's just jump into its website, NFTLaunch. So NFTLaunch, I brought this to you. Oh man, I did a beautiful video on this when it was 6 cents, and I said it's likely to go under 5 cents. It went to 4.8, then it just exploded to 30 cents. And I know many of you managed to get it under 5 cents. So congratulations on that, because you're going to get some serious allocations for that cost. But what we want to look at NFTLaunch is they now do IDOs. So this is a new button. And when we click on it, or in fact, before we click on it, let's just scroll down. Let's just see their membership levels. The minimum membership is 20,000 tokens, which is guaranteed a pull weight of 10. You will get 10 times the amount of allocation if you can go for the top tier. So how much is 20,000 tokens? How much is it going to cost you in today's money, today's price? Well, let's type it in, 20,000. It will cost you $5,518, right? That's the cost of entry for, what do they call it? What's the name of that level? That level is called NFT Starter, right? NFT Starter. So let's just type in NFT Starter. All right, so that's the cost of NFT Starter. And then the top tier, I know you need 180,000 tokens. Let's just zoom in like this. You need 180,000 tokens, and this one's called NFT Advance. So you need 180,000 tokens. The price is going to be, let's have a look. Let's just type it in, 180,000, and today's price is just under 50,000, right? $50,000. So we're doing this in dollars, by the way, guys, dollars, because dollars is regarded as the global currency at the moment. I say at the moment because of crypto, obviously, right? Crypto will probably change that in due course. All right, so there's the two prices. So you can see NFTLaunch is much cheaper, top tier, than AdaPad. So even though AdaPad might give you an extra 10, 20, 30% allocation, NFT Advance, 180,000 tokens, is half the price. And I believe if you're comparing like for like, we're just focused on MetaVPad. NFT Advance is more likely to give you a higher allocation than BSCPad Blue Diamond, and it's a third of the price. So if MetaVPad is your only focus and you don't care about any of the other IDOs, but NFT launch is starting to have pretty decent IDOs as well, the volume-wise as well. So there you have it, NFT Advanced. Hopefully this is making sense, right? Because we're doing it slow and steady, one at a time. And we can look at the website with, let's just go to projects. We got only MetaVPad, and it's recently launched Valhalla. So it hasn't had many IDOs with NFT launch, because remember, it's originally an INO platform, initial NFT offering platform, but now is focused on IDOs as well. And that's going to drive, I think, is going to be much stronger. So GameZone. So price action, it's close to an all-time high, nearly $1 per token. But GameZone, again, it's hard to compare because the amount of tokens you need for GameZone is very different from the other memberships, and that becomes confusing. So let's just jump into their website. GameZone, I think they got, is that an IDO today or is it tomorrow? We'll check that in a second. So let's just scroll to the bottom. So the lower tier is called Starter. And Starter, I think, is a lottery system though. It is a access to IGO lottery. I think the win rate is quite high, but it's a lottery system. So we're gonna go, and I believe this one is guaranteed. Let me just double check. Yep. Standard allocation, pool weight access. This is guaranteed, right? I'm sure by now I'm sure side, right? So so God mode is definitely guaranteed, and this one I think is also guaranteed. Yeah, it is guaranteed. I don't think it uses the term guaranteed, but veteran is also guaranteed, and we need 20,000 tokens, right? So it's gonna be close to $20,000. So let's just put in 20,000 tokens, and it's gonna be $19,000 for the veteran level. Veteran, right? It's called veteran. All right, so let's just make a note of that because we can do a little summary at the end. That makes it easier for us to see. Veteran is 19,000, and then they have GOD mode. Now for this one, what we need is 70,000 tokens, right? So again, we go back into CoinMarketCap. It's going to type in 70,000 tokens. What's today's price? It's going to be 66,621. All right, that's just quoting today's price as of recording this video. Right, so again, if we look at the comparison, this is quite close to NFT launch's price. Well, I say quite close, percentage-wise, it's the extra 20, was it 10, 20, 25% extra. But it's still a third or 40% cheaper than AdaPad. But I think GameZone will get a very similar allocation to AdaPad. Probably might be a bit less, but I think it'll be similar. I think it'll be higher than NFTLaunch. But again, only time will tell, so it's hard to say. But GameZone, so if we just jump back into their website, are launching more projects, right? So if we just go into their app, so we just scroll back up and we click open app. Again, let's just have a look. So projects now open. So what's coming up? Look at this. So the GameZone recently gave a bonus NFT because they got a partnership with Revamon. So you get these rare eggs if you had God mode tier and normal eggs, like these eggs and NFTs that are hatching into things. Obviously MetaVPad, but Atlantis Metaverse is launching. I think it's tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Is in the next couple of days. I think it's before MetaVPad, and they've had quite a few decent. They had Operan Origins recently, Gospers not that long ago. They've had Valhalla, Polygod, and Cryptopolis. So they got more IDOs than NFTLaunch, and probably more than AdaPad as well. So when you're doing your equation on, okay, AdaPad might give you a higher allocation, but you're paying nearly double the price, and you're going to have less IDOs. Whereas GameZone, you're probably going to get a very similar amount of tokens for MetaVPad, plus you're going to have Atlantis Metaverse. And again, gaming, IGOs, initial game offerings, that's where their focus is, and naturally is going to gravitate towards metaverse games as well, because that's where the trend is right now. So GameZone is going to be a strong contender for the number one spot. As in, I'll kind of give you my opinion, and it is just my opinion based on the metrics that we're literally doing live. We're doing it live. So now we're going to go to VelasPad. So VelasPad, now this is, that's TronPad. Hold on, where's VelasPad? Did I not pull up VelasPad? All right, let's open VelasPad first because I wanted to do it in this order. So let's just go to VelasPad. I'm doing it live like this as well because sometimes if I pre-prepare everything and I'm not doing it live, you don't get to hear my thinking. And sometimes a lot of people have said it's helpful to hear my thinking as we're just doing it live. So VelasPad is running at a discount. Look at this correction. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. VelasPad, very nice correction. Movement to the downside. All-time high price has been $1.36. So it's like a 50% discount right now in terms of compared to its all-time high. But let's jump into its website. So Velas is on the Velas blockchain. So everything until now, so what we've covered so far, AdaPad, everything's on Binance Smart Chain so far. VelasPad, however, is on the Velas blockchain. It's a bit of extra work to be done and to get set up. So I've actually created an IDO masterclass, IDO Launchpad masterclass, really in preparation for MetaVPad, but it covers all Launchpads. But the real concept, so you can take that, it's in the link below, it's in the description below, so you can take that, and then you can buy the course. And in the course, I use VelasPad as one of the main examples on how to get everything set up, mainly because everything else is the same, other than with VelasPad, you have to bridge the tokens over to the Velas network. So that's important to know, because if you haven't got that skill set or you don't want to go through that bother, then this might just be eradicated as an option. Or you might say, actually, that's an advantage because a lot of people are not going to go through the extra effort. So with VelasPad, so you can take the IDO masterclass, it is in the link below, and you'll get my high level thinking on some of these things as well. So let's just scroll down. Where's the levels? There we go. Here's the levels. So the lowest tier is Taurus. It's all of these are guaranteed allocations. In Taurus, you need 20,000 tokens. So we just go back into VelasPad. Again, we'll do the same thing, keeping it nice and simple. 20,000. The current price is 15,611. Taurus. That's the name of my cat. My cat's name is Taurus. T-A. Did I spell that right? Yeah. So we'll go with that. Taurus. So that's how much it's going to cost you to get Taurus level to get started. Now, again, top tier VelasPad, if you take PostPad as an example, I think it was near $200. I think it was $180. And lower tier will get 1/6 of that amount. So what would that be? Let's have a quick look at a calculator. Because this is one of the big questions, right? Everyone asks, if you're getting $200 on top tier, and the way I'm looking at this, by the way, guys, is, Vala, the 100,000 token allocation, this one over here, is the pull weight of 60. And Taurus is a pull weight of 10, right? So it's 1/6. So if we know PostPad gave Vala members around, I think it was under 200, but let's just call it 200. That means the lower tier will get 1/6 of that amount, which would be around $33. Now, if MetaVPad and you get $33, does a 1000x? Well, 33 times 1,000 is $33,000, right? So you kind of do the math and you go, okay, hang on a second. You're telling me if I spend $15,000 and then I get $33 worth of allocation, I could potentially make 30 grand. I go, yeah, that's the math. That's the math. However, know that you're probably only going to get allocated 10% on launch day, as in there's vesting schedules, which means your tokens get locked and they get unlocked over a period of time. I cover that more in the IDO masterclass, which is in the link below, and much more detail in the course itself. So Velas is, you need 100,000 tokens for Vala level, 100,000 tokens. And today's price is $78,000, right? $78,000. So it's quite expensive. Quite expensive. So it's called Vala, not Velas, right? Bang. So I reckon VelasPad and AdaPad will have very similar allocations. It can vary on the day depending on the number of members that changes, number of stakers that changes, and so on and so forth. There's a few moving parts, but we kind of get a ballpark to go, okay, VelasPad and AdaPad are roughly going to be close to each other. AdaPad might just edge it, but know that AdaPad, you're paying an extra 30%. It's $103,000. And here with VelasPad, is 78,000. But the lowest tier is 15,000, which is comparable to the copper level with AdaPad, which is 12,000. And I reckon the Taurus tier will probably get more, because keeping in mind that AdaPad has 4 tiers and the their copper tier is their 4th tier, and Taurus is the 3rd tier. So we want to, we have to do some basic math and make some. Well, there's a few opinions, and we have to kind of be a bit subjective in this part because it's not just pure mathematics because of there's moving parts. And then also, lastly, on VelasPad, if we just open up their app, let's have a look at their IDO schedule. This is on their bridge projects. So open now. So MetaVPad is the only one that's listed so far. That's upcoming. They've done 3 IDOs so far: PostPad, BitOrbit, and Valhalla, which all did really well, right? Valhalla did like 600x, PostPad did 600x, BitOrbit did, I think it did 150x. I think it did. So there's not as many. There's probably be a couple more IDOs than AdaPad, less than GameZone, equal to NFTLaunch, I think. Obviously much less than BSCPad. BSCPad will have the most amount of IDOs. All right, I've got 3 to go, people. 3 to go. I covered this in a different angle as well in the masterclass. Is an IDO Launchpad masterclass, which is in the link below, because I know a lot of people want to get set up for MetaVPad, and I realized a lot of people struggle. It's not that intuitive to do this, to set everything up. So TronPad, man, I wanted to make a note. On this. TronPad, many of you took advantage of this, and I'm thankful you did. Is I did a video on TronPad down here where we said TronPad is undervalued right now. It's in August. I did a video, and the price of TronPad was 0.028 in this region. And he said, look, it's not peak IDO season, but it's the best time to buy your Launchpad. And and then it went up, 5-10 times, etc. Now it's done a bit of a pullback. So TronPad's all-time high is more based around its launch, so that's not that relevant. But it's close to its all-time high. But what we want to pay attention to is currently 14 cents. TronPad, again, according to this website, again, very different tokenomics, very different number of tokens that you require for TronPad. For the lower tier, again, we're going to ignore the lottery. For Moon, you need 50,000 tokens, and for Sun, you need 500,000 tokens. So let's just do the math on those. So if we just go back here and we say, what is the price of 50,000 tokens today? And by the way, when you're doing IDOs, even though we're focused on MetaVPad, because I think that's going to be the IDO of the year in terms of multiples, keep in mind that you want to be participating in like 10, 20 IDOs, 10, 20 IDOs if you can. So TronPad, was it Moon? Moon. Again, obviously there's middle tiers as well, so you can kind of do the math. I'm kind of just showing you some of the basic thinking. The entry level is $7,000, and the Sun tier, well, because it's 500,000 tokens, and this one 50,000 tokens, is just going to be one extra zero at the end. 134. Yeah, 134. Is that right? No, I thought I put an extra. It's 134.5. 0.6, sorry. There you go. Just so you know what I just did there, it's the same price. If we just put in an extra zero, and it'll be 71345. We'll just copy and paste. Let's just keep it the same. We'll keep the same method, right? Just not to confuse anyone. Just paste that in, bang. All right, so that's the 2 levels with Tron. Now, the trouble with TronPad is, okay, look at the price. The price is almost the same as VelasPad. It's more expensive than GameZone, and big time more than NFTLaunch. Not that far off from AdaPad. So TronPad doesn't make the top list. I don't think so. Now, the only thing that could give it a bit of kudos is there might be less members on TronPad, and you might get a slightly higher allocation. But I think it'll be similar, very similar to, I think it'll be higher than BSCPad, lower than AdaPad, and lower than GameZone. But in the region of GameZone, it won't be that far off. But the trouble with TronPad, and the thing that if you're just choosing one, why it wouldn't make my shortlist, is let's just look at the number of projects they've recently launched. All right, so if we just scroll back up. All right, got MetaVPad obviously coming up on the 10th of December. PostPad, they got allocation. These were big IDOs. PostPad, VelasPad, and GameZone, etc. But since PostPad, it hasn't had any. And Tron naturally, especially in the Western world, is not as popular as the blockchain. That's what I've realized. I spoke to the support team of CrossSwap, and I was like, why did you guys not list on TronPad? And they said it's an acquired taste. Some people love Tron, the Tron blockchain, some people don't. Um, so MetaVPad, unless you got some tokens and from the IDO or something along those lines, it might not be the best option when you're taking the whole picture into the holistic picture into consideration. What other IDOs is Tron and TronPad going to launch on the Tron network? I go, it doesn't seem that part of their ecosystem has really kicked off, and I don't think the Bluezilla team are paying that much attention into the TronPad. If you just look at it, main thing that's going on right now is GameZone, Metaverse, I must say GameZone, sorry, GameFi, play to earn, NFTs, etc., and really building a core. So I think Tron, maybe it's more they're going to wait for CrossSwap to launch and Cross Wallet to launch, which is due this month, and it's going to integrate much better into the Tron network because that's one of the difficulties. It's not EVM compatible, I don't believe. That's why they have Tron Link, which doesn't link to MetaMask. So anyway, and you do have to do some bridging with Tron as well. So it's not my. I love Tron. I love what they've done here because it was their second launchpad that they launched, but I don't think it cuts the shortlist when we're just looking at everything like for like. KCCPad price is 23 cents. It done a nice dip. I did a video back when it was more like 6 cents, 5 cents down here. This is the optimal buying times was down here because it hadn't really done anything yet. And then when it launched, what was the first one? I think was it AdaPad. We'll have a look. It just really took off. You was paying $8,000 to $12,000 for top tier membership, and then a few weeks later you're paying like 30, 40, 50,000 for the exact same membership. So that's the game that we're playing here. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. So let's just go scroll down. What's the tiers? You have Q Starter 50,000, Q Bulls, and Q Coiners 200,000. So 50,000, 200,000 is the allocation amount. So this one could give us an advantage with the 200,000. Let's just look at the prices. So we've got 20,000 tokens for this one. For the lower tier, it's 4,600. So this looks like one of the lowest level entry levels. And I think the allocations would be quite decent with KCCPad. Well, what do they call it? Q stars, was it? Q. Oh, Q starter. Is that the lowest price? Is that the lowest one? Yeah, just by a fraction, just a bit lower than NFT launch. Q starter seems to be the lowest. Does it say starters or starter? Starters, and then Q coiners. Q coiners, you need 200,000 tokens, which is going to be 46,000. Let me just double check. Did I get that right? So 50,000. Why did I write? No, sorry. Sorry, we've done many. Sorry, let me do that again. Apologies. I got that wrong. 50,000 tokens. I was thinking I was a bit cheap. I was thinking that didn't really add up. All right, so let me just correct that. So that's not correct. All right, it was Q starters. All right, Q stars. Sorry, it's 11,000, not the cheapest, not the cheapest. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. And then I know you're probably screaming and correcting me, right? So yeah, we figured it out. 50,000, and then we need 200,000 tokens for the one more zero. Q coiners, and let's just get it. Yeah, that's right here. Q coiners, Q dash coiners. All right, here we go. Bang. All right, so this one, 56,000. It's cheaper than VelasPad. I think it will get a similar allocation to VelasPad, maybe a little less. It's cheaper than GameZone, and it's roughly the price of NFTLaunch. So if this is your price mark, it'll be between this and NFTLaunch. I reckon KCCPad. Yeah, I think it'll be close. It's hard to say. I think it'll be close. A while ago, before KCCPad got recognized, jeez, it was getting like the highest allocations by far. Like if I show you the numbers, I think it was it AdaPad? It was like nearly $300 allocation. It was mainly because there was so little members, people didn't know how to bridge over to KCC, and it was difficult. But one of the things with KCCPad is not a popular blockchain. It's a very new blockchain. It's the KuCoin community chain, and the last IDO was Gamers. That was almost like and they haven't had that many in a while. So it's similar to TronPad. You're not gonna get that many IDOs, but you're gonna get a good bang for your buck kind of thing. But if you had to choose between this and um, GameZone, I would choose GameZone because they got more IDOs overall. So last but not least, EthPad is just the sequence. The reason I did it in this sequence was this was the sequence that they put it on the Telegram MetaVPad of these IDO platforms. So EthPad is running at a good discount right now. Now the big headache with EthPad is on the Ethereum blockchain. The gas fees are ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous. But the price is cheap right now. It's like 50, 60% down from all-time high. But let's just go onto their website and let's just look at the numbers. They recently launched another tier. I say recently, it was around a month ago. Let's just scroll down, scroll down. All right. Where are you? Where are you? No, I missed it. Okay. Where are you? Here we go. So we're focused on the guaranteed level. Silver is the lower level, 120,000. And now they've got a diamond tier, which is 500,000. And again, keep in mind as well, I forgot to mention this, BSCPad Blue Diamond has a private allocation as well. Not for all IDOs, but for many. Tron, Sun tier, same thing. AdaPad Gold tier, same thing. And now EthPad. And I wouldn't be overly surprised if nearer the time, maybe 1 or 2 days, they say EthPad, good news, EthPad holders, it's not guaranteed, but it might be the case that you'll get extra allocation. It just means extra allocation at a cheaper price. Staking, so the vesting schedules can be slightly different as well. So you need 100,000 tokens for the lowest tier, which is $13,000. What's their lower tier? Was it silver? Silver, yeah. Right, so we type in silver. 13,000. And now we know they got the diamond tier. I hope if I can spell diamond tier. And for this one, you need 500,000 tokens. Was it 500,000? Yeah, 500. And no, there are lottery systems, so if you can't afford the tickets, the guaranteed, you can just get your game going with the lottery, and you'll probably have a 5 to 20% chance, I think it is, to win the lottery if you can't get the guaranteed. And there are some whitelisting. I don't know if they do it for every IDO, but they normally have an allocation for people that are willing to do some marketing activity, like reposting tweets and stuff. You'll get into another lottery system for free, and I think you get decent allocation. So here, EthPad is not bad on price. It's comparable to the others. It's not. It's toward the lower end, on the upper tier anyway. So I think this is going to give good value. I think this is going to be close to AdaPad because a lot of people are hating the Ethereum gas fees. Like Ethereum gas fees are just horrible in comparison, especially if you start getting used to Binance Smart Chain. But let's just open up their app to remind ourselves of the number of IDOs. Yeah, it is a pain. But if you're willing, if you're happy, when you're buying your token, you have to use Ethereum gas fees. When you're claiming your tokens, you have to use Ethereum gas fees. Often it's not listed on Ethereum straight away, on Uniswap straight away. It's listed on PancakeSwap first. That's another thing as well that we need to take into account. Any of them that are listed on Binance Smart Chain, as in the Launchpad is on the Binance Smart Chain, that's an advantage. Why? Because the project currently launches on PancakeSwap first. Until they launch CrossSwap, which is due this quarter, which is going to be huge. And that's going to probably replace PancakeSwap as where they're going to list new projects, and they can list all Launchpads at the same time. At the moment, is Binance Smart Chain holders, as in BSCPad, GameZone, NFTLaunch, AdaPad, because Cardano's they're waiting for it to go live, is all on Binance Smart Chain. Those four will have an advantage. Whereas KCCPad, yeah, it gets unlocked slightly later, and then you have to bridge. Tron, same thing, bridge. Velas, normally the same thing, or it goes straight onto Wagyu, but it's normally a 20-minute lag deliberately to have bot prevention, etc. So what we're looking at, if EthPad, again, similar to the others. They had a media eye. I can't remember how this did, which but other than that, it has had many IDOs. It has had many IDOs. So volume of IDOs is going to be on the lower end. I think you'll get decent allocations. The stakers on this are much lower. So yeah, it's not going to be in the top list. So there you have it. So if you want to take my free IDO and Launchpad masterclass, it kind of gives you a real high level oversight. But if you want to know like a step-by-step guide, how to, I built a course for that so you can kind of get the quick start. And we also just done as a bonus, Koi Starter. Koi Starter, we're not talking about it today, but they're doing some amazing things with some amazing launches coming up. I've added that to the course also. So let's just kind of do a nice recap. So where are we? MetaVPad, here we go. I forgot so many tabs open from this session today. There we go. MetaVPad has been the focus. We know it's going to be big. If the market really picks up before the 10th of the next 3 days, I think we're going to see some bit more bullish behavior in Bitcoin, which will add a bit of short-term optimism to the market before further corrections, which I think is going to be good for MetaVPad. I don't think they're going to delay as long as that price goes up, unless there's some other news announcement that occurs. But let's summarize with the Word document, right? So we've got BSCPad. To get involved at the platinum level, there are bronze, silver, and gold, but I'm going to call platinum the lower tier. It's $21,000, which is more on the upper end. And then one of the most expensive, I think it was it? Yeah, it was the most expensive, 160,000. And what you're going to get for that premium price is the most amount of IDOs. The most amount of IDOs, like volume of deals. Volume of deals, you're going to have the most. You're going to have the most. They do, if you've got platinum or above, you can actually get whitelisted for the bot prevention round. It's a bit difficult and a bit tricky. It's very difficult and very tricky, but you can buy before anyone else when a project goes live for the first time, whitelist 1, whitelist 2. And they use the term whitelist for many things, but it's different whitelist for different things. But that's a whole different conversation. But BSCPad is the most expensive. You get the most amount of IDOs, but you probably get the least amount of allocation because it's got the most amount of members, right? So if you just focus on MetaVPad, it's not going to be the top pick. AdaPad, I think, was the second most expensive, I think, on the top tier anyway. Yeah, AdaPad was as of today's price, a second most expensive. They have got a fourth tier, which is copper, which you can get some decent allocation, which will be almost equivalent to some of the other bronzes. They don't have many IDOs. It is currently on the Binance Smart Chain, and it will list on PancakeSwap, so that's fine until AstroSwap goes live on the Cardano blockchain. Then it will start directing projects onto AstroSwap straight away. So AdaPad, I think, is going to give you either the highest allocation or amongst the top 3 highest allocation. AdaPad doesn't have that many IDOs at the moment, but once the Cardano blockchain moves to the next level, then I think that iteration will kind of be a whole different ballgame. NFTLaunch, man, especially if you bought this when I did that video, literally it was on the 4th, I think it was on the 4th of last month, and it was around 6.5 cents, and I said it's likely to go under 5 because there was a token unlock. It went to 4.8 thereabouts, and that was peak buying time to buy. You could have got these memberships for cheapest chips, 180,000 tokens at 5 cents. What's that? Man, and I know some of you did, so congratulations on you guys. You would have got, it's crazy though, right? It's like a matter of a day, some people got their membership for around 5 cents. It would mean $9,000. You would have got the same $50,000 membership for 80% discount. It's nuts, right? Absolutely nuts. But at today's price, it's 50,000. The lower tier is okay. I think this will be the challenge that and the knowledge, the information that I don't have and I can't give is NFT launch. For PostPad, they had a lower amount of allocation, dollar amount, but it was because they were raising a lower amount. You'll notice that all the other launchpads had $125,000 raise, whereas for PostPad, NFT launch only raised $75,000, and that's why their amount was lower. But percentage-wise, it was equal. So if they get the same amount allocated, because we don't have that information right now, I think it will be one of the top players. All right, let's summarize. GameZone, I just realized it's nearly 10 a.m. where I am right now. I got a meeting in 3 minutes. GameZone, I think is going to be one of the best picks. good value for money. Number of deal flows is very, very good. VelasPad, again, deal flow is going to be lower than GameZone, but I think allocations is going to be quite high. So, and again, the Velas blockchain is getting more and more popular. Wagyu Swap is now live, and kicking, doing incredibly well overall. It's just, just a carbon copy of Pancake Swap, and it works faster, cheaper, because on the Velas blockchain in terms of gas fees. TronPad doesn't make it. It's very expensive. IDO, I think you're going to get a decent allocation for MetaVPad. However, the number of IDOs right now is low. Same as KCCPad, I think the allocation is going to be higher, but again, the deal flow is low. And EthPad, I think, is going to be one of the best picks, but the gas fees are extortionate, but the deal flow is low as well. So if I had to choose one, and money was no issue, it'll be AdaPad, because of the allocation for MetaVPad. I think you'll get an extra 10-20%, and especially if you get first come, first serve. Second pick would be GameZone. Third pick would be between NFTLaunch and VelasPad. And then fourth pick would be, I would say, I hate the gas fees, man. Even though making some good money, it just does my head in. So KCCPad, then EthPad, then TronPad, and then BSCPad. Only because BSCPad, you're paying the most and you're getting the least. All right, there we have it. Let's wrap up. I got 30 seconds. Jeez, I lost track. I know we had to do detailed videos today because I wanted to answer all the questions that everyone has. All right, today's quote is, by the way, if you want to take the free IDO Launchpad course, it's the masterclass. It's free. It's in the link below. Today's quote, Henry Ford: "It has been my observation that most people get ahead during the time that others waste." So you have to practice, you have to do your due diligence, you have to do everything that you can to give yourself the edge. And it's all about getting the edge, because we can only do probabilities and never certainties. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's get ready for MetaVPad. Let's get ready for the metaverse, and let's pay special attention, because social media took it from text to images to videos, and now we're going to VR, AR, metaverse. So it's a very big deal. All right, take care. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, take the free IDO Launchpad masterclass. I'll see you soon.